How's everyone doing? Doing good, I hope. Uh, this is the Atari Lynx, you know, and this is the travel bag that comes with, you know, and it's cool, I have to say, like, you know. I have all my games. I have Model 1 and Model 2 Atari Lynxes, and the games I have, and the adapter. So it's handy to have this travel case, but unfortunately, it's starting to rip, as you can see. Through no fault of my own, it's just deteriorating from, I don't know why, but years of wear and tear. So it's a pain in the ass, you know. It's a shame because it's a nice looking case with a nice strap and all, like, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I just gotta be careful that the whole thing doesn't rip. Yeah. So yeah, the Atari Lynx came out 1989. It's a handheld console, and I believe it's the first colour handheld system, and it was competing against the Nintendo Game Boy and the Sega Game Gear. Now, Nintendo revolutionised the industry by releasing the Game Boy. The Game Boy came out first, and it was a runaway success for Nintendo, and rightfully so, because the Game Boy was a great handheld. You know, it was cheap, it had great battery life, but most importantly, it had great games. So that's why the Game Boy was a success. And the Game Boy lasted a very long time, and it had multiple iterations. I was just unzipping the Atari case there, you know. They had the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Micro, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP. Went on for over 10 years. Sold millions, because rightfully so, like, Nintendo did everything right with the system. Great games, great price, great everything. So Atari says, hey, we're going to get on that. You know, just like with the 7800, they decided to bring out the Atari Lynx. And it was a failure, the Atari Lynx. Unfortunately, it didn't put a dent in Nintendo's stranglehold, I guess, on the game market. But you can't blame Nintendo for that, because Nintendo Game Boy was awesome. I'll even admit that. I'm an Atari fan, and I'm admitting right now, the Game Boy is a better handheld, in my opinion. It has better games, better battery life, just better value. You know, now the Atari Lynx has a good game library, and a lot of unique games that you can't get on the Game Gear or the Game Boy. But it just pales in comparison, in my opinion, you know. But not only that, it's huge. The Atari Lynx is huge. Almost, it's way bigger than the Game Boy, so it's not exactly portable, and there's no way in hell you're going to fit this into your pocket. But the Atari Lynx is more powerful than the Game Boy. Like I said, it's in colour, and the graphics are like 16-bit almost. So the graphics are good. It has great sound, you know. It has great speakers, and it has a function where if you're right or left-handed, you can play it that way. That's why it has two buttons on top and bottom. There's a button there called mode. I don't know if you can see it, but you press that and it'll flip it. Like, so if you're left-handed, you can play it that way, which is a cool feature. But there aren't that many left-handed people, but if you are left-handed, you can use it that way. Now, this is the Model 1 Atari Lynx that came out in 1989. See, I look after my stuff. I keep it in the case, I look after it. It has a great D-pad, on and off button, and reset button, and option 1. I haven't used this in a while, you know, and at the top, that's where the headphone jack is, the volume knob, and the coaxial part. I believe the coaxial part is to link multiple Game Boys together to play two or three or four player games. But I never had to use that because apart from myself, I know nobody that owns an Atari Lynx, you know, because back in the day, the Atari Lynx just wasn't as popular as the Game Boy. Not a whole lot of people had it. Nearly everyone had a Game Boy because it was cheaper and it was better. So your chances of seeing someone, especially in Ireland back in 1989 with Atari Lynx, is very, very rare, you know. But that's the back of it, the Atari Lynx leak. It's really old, as you can see. And made in Sunnyvale, California in 1989, you know. So yeah, that's where the games go. They're like weird little cards, you know. And you know, that go into it. And this is a Blue Lightning. I'll get onto the games now in a minute, but these cool little cards, you know. Whereas the Game Boy games are like chunky cartridges, you know. Which is cool, and we'll get onto the games now in a minute, you know. Yeah, that's where the cartridges go in there, like, and the thing closes, like, you know. Now the Atari Lynx, it takes 6 AA batteries, right? That go in the battery bay, or the as you can see. Now your best bet is to use Duracells because they last the longest. The Atari Lynx was a failure for a bunch of reasons, you know. Which I'll get into now in a minute. The bottom is the brightness knob. I don't know if you can see that. You know, that's the bright there. See, and it's a failure, unfortunately, for Atari. The Atari Lynx. Now, I have the Model 2 as well because I'm an ultra Atari fan. You know, this is the Model 2 Atari Lynx. It's just a bit smaller, but it's still gigantic. Same features and all as the other ones, just looks a bit better, you know, I think. Same button, same right and left handed option, you know. In the back it has a better Atari logo. It's not faded, so has rubber grips and stuff. And yeah, you know, Pac-Land, which is an awesome game. I'll get into this now in a minute. I'll get into the games in a minute. But yeah, the Atari Lynx on the top, same functions: coaxial port, headphone jack, volume, brightness, and on the bottom is where the batteries go. So they just change things around to make it as compact as possible, but it's still gigantic, you know. And they eat up the batteries really fast. Like the battery life on the Atari Lynx isn't that great. You're lucky to get 3 hours, 4 hours maximum, even with 6 AA batteries. So whereas the Game Boy only used 4 and lasted a lot longer, because the Game Boy is only in black and white. So the Lynx had the power, it had the better graphics, it had the colour screen, but the games weren't as good, and didn't have as many great games as the Game Boy. It was just more expensive. A Game Boy would cost you 120, 150 quid back in the day in Ireland, whereas the Atari Lynx was nearly 280 to 300 quid. And the games were expensive. Everything for the Lynx was just more expensive. And back in the day, back in 1989, people didn't have that sort of money to shell out on something like this. I literally had to beg to get mine, you know, save my money up all year, and eventually my gave me the rest for she got it for me for Christmas. But it's just a failure. Would I recommend it? It depends. I don't know what the prices are like for the Atari Lynx now. If it's cheaper than what I pay for, then yeah, go for it. I mean, there are a lot of great unique games that you can't get anywhere else. Like those two I showed you there, like Pac-Land and Blue Lightning. So it all depends on what sort of games you like. But in my opinion, the Game Boy is the better option if you're looking for a retro handheld. But If you can find an Atari Lynx for cheap, then get one. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's up to you. If you are gonna get an Atari Lynx, get a power adapter. It's essential. You know. It eats up batteries like really fast. You know. And like I said, it's not exactly portable. You saw the size of the thing. You know what I mean? So like, you have to have the travel case really. You know, because otherwise, someone will hit you over the head and say, "Oh, that looks nice," and it's gone. Well, it depends on where you live. You know, where I live, you don't go around with something like that. You know what I mean? Unless you have it in a bag, so no one knows what it is. That's just the area that I live in. You know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't recommend it. Or go for a Game Boy. But it's up to you. Yeah. So the Atari Lynx was a failure. Because you know, like just like the Atari 7800, especially in the world, no one gave a shit about it. You know what I mean? No, and very little people knew about it. Which is just unfortunate. I don't know how long it lasted for. It didn't last that long, the Atari Lynx. I think it was finished in 92 or something. But it's just a shame. Like I said, it's not. Look at the size of it. You know what I mean? It's really big. We had to. I was going to work on the bus once, and I had to go, and everyone was looking at me like, "Oh Jesus! Like, are they gonna rob me or something?" Like, I felt like they were gonna mug me, so I put it back in the bag really quick. So, but if you live in a nice area, then whatever. You know, yeah, so that's it for the system. I can't think of anything else to say about the system. But I think it's a great looking handheld. Has a lot of weight to it. You know, it's very sturdy. Like I said, the graphics are pretty cool. Right. So I'm gonna try my best to show you what the games actually look like on this, right? So I'm gonna just getting the games out here. I don't have that many because the Atari Lynx games are very expensive, and they're hard to find, especially completely, you know, in a box and all that. Most of the time they're all just loose cartridges or cards, you know. Most of my games are just loose, you know, that I have for it. So I'm gonna put them in the Model 2 Atari Lynx because it's easier for me, like, you know, I guess, you know. The Atari Lynx is better because the cartridges go right there, where with the Model 1 you have to open it up just to put the cartridges in, like, you know. So I'm gonna start off with this game here, Pit Fighter, which is a shit game, you know what I mean. Only cost me £2 and it's not worth it. Pit Fighter, right? It's like Mortal Kombat, only shit. Digitized fighters to look real, but there's only 4 or 5 fighters. You can pick up barrels and stuff to attack each other now, but it's just a shit game. It really is. Made in 1992. You know, Atari Corp. Crap. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have got this. But I'm gonna try and show you if I can. Now, the thing is with the Atari Lynx, you have to tilt it at the right angle just to see what's on the screen. That's it. Same with all see Pit Fighter, the ultimate competition. My arse, you know. And so I don't know if you can see it, but that's basically what it looks like, you know. You know, it's like Mortal Kombat, just not as good. They look like photographs or something, the characters, I don't know, but it's just not a good game, but in my opinion. I just find it boring. So I think this was in the arcade or something. That's all the credits to people that made the game. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's nothing great in my opinion, you know. I'm gonna try and turn up the volume so you can hear No, there's no sound. See, I can't play the game, and that's the brightness. Sorry. Yeah, so that's the sound. Like. So that's Pit Fighter, like, you know. Nothing special in my opinion. So for Pit Fighter, we'll give it a 3 out of 10. It's nothing special. So we'll move on to the next game. So I just turn it off. I don't know how well you can see this, but you know. The next game is Checkered Flag. Now I have this for the Atari Jaguar as well, and believe the Lynx version is better than the Atari Jaguar version. It's 2D. It's not a 3D racing. It's not a 3D F1 game. It's 2D, and it's actually pretty. It has more tracks, more cars to choose from. It controls very well, and it is one of the best driving games on the Atari Lynx. So I wonder why they didn't just port this onto the Atari Jaguar. You know, I don't know. See, I think the reason was with the Atari Jaguar they were trying to show off the 3D capabilities, and try and make it better than virtual racing on the Sega Mega Drive. But this is pretty good, made in 1991, and I'll show you. Yeah, this is Checkered Flag, like, you know. Came out in 1991, you know. See, it's pretty good, like, you know. Now, of course, that isn't in-game gameplay. That's just the star sequence. That's all the credits to people that made the game. You know, that's good music. And I think the Atari logo and the Lynx logo look cool, like, you know. So I'll try and start the game up, and so like that's what it looks like, you know. Just imagine stuff moving, like, you know. Yeah, so let's check a flag. You know, so it's pretty good. I like it, like, you know. So yeah, for Checkered Flag, we'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's very good. I like it, like, you know. It's pretty good. You know. So on to the next game, which is a classic and a must-have, Robotron 2084. You know, brilliant. 1992, made in 1992, made by Williams Entertainment, which is pretty cool. Now, you play that guy there with the gun, and basically you just have to shoot all the robots within the square, like, you know, and pretty cool. I mean, this is in the arcade, but I never got a chance to play it. I wish I had, but it's a pretty cool game. And I would recommend it if you're going to get an Atari Lynx, you know. And that's great music, and I know. Pretty good, you know. Here are all the people that made it and all the stuff, you know. So I'll try and start it up. So, you see it? You know? Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool, like, you know? Yeah, that's me in the middle shooting all the yolks, you know? So, like, Robotron 2084, it's one of the more expensive games, but I think it's worth it. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I would. I think it's brilliant, and a must have, in my opinion, you know. So yeah, get it if you are gonna get an Atari Lynx. Would definitely recommend getting that. Robotron, 2084. Now on to the next one, Battle Wheels, which is a cool game. It's a first-person perspective. Uh, it's Beyond Games 1993. That's the name of the crowd that made it. It's 1 or 2 players. Sorry, it's 1 to 6 players. This is one of the games where you need multiple copies of the game, multiple Atari Lynxes, and the coax cable. Now that was a sort of shitty move just to make us buy 6 copies of the game, buy 6 Atari Lynxes. You know, game companies did that back in the early 90s. You had to buy multiple consoles, multiple copies of the game. You know, so but this is battle royale except with cars. The object is to you're in like an arena, a desert or a metropolis city, you know, and you have to destroy the cars and then kill the drivers as they're trying to escape. Like, and once you blow up their cars, they try to run away. You have to run them down or shoot them, which is pretty cool. And you can buy rockets and other upgrades for your car. So it's an awesome game, and I'd highly recommend it. You know, Battle Wheels, and it has great music. You know, Beyond Games, like, you know. So like I said, there's a lot of cool, like, unique games, and this is this is way more advanced than the Game Boy. You know, yeah, but there's not enough like this. We needed more games like this and Robotron to survive. But the thing, like I said, the biggest thing I think that killed it was the price and the battery life and the sheer size of it, like, you know. You know, shouldn't but it's awesome. It has great graphics, great sound, like, you know. See, you can choose your class, medium, light, or heavy, or whatever, you know, which is cool, like, you know. Now that means how much damage can your car take before it blows up, like, you know. And so look, there's the so it's like a first-person perspective, and you drive around, and now this is impossible to play with one-handed, but the buttons for the machine guns and stuff. So it's a pretty good game, like, you know, and would highly recommend it. Battle Wheels, and we'll give it an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Now onto a game that's not that great. Hard driving. Now this was on the Mega Drive as well. Tangent, yeah, that's the same crowd that actually made Pit Fighter. You know, Tangent. I was trying to think of the name, but this is behind the wheel driving simulator. Like, it's now it's not as fast paced as Battle Wheels or Checkered Flag. It's more slower paced, and the controls are a bit delayed. Like, you turn left and then a second or two later it happens. So it's let down by the controls. Whereas in the Sega Mega Drive version, there's no problem with the controls. It's a very slow paced driving game, and but it has. I'll show you. It's not terrible. It's better than Pit Fighter, but not by much. You know, in terms of a driving game, in my opinion. Yeah. So insert game. See, that happens sometimes if it's not inserted properly, or sometimes you have to blow on it to get it to work. No, it's still not working. No, we've got to take it out and blow on it again. You know. Yeah. Yeah. So, apart from the start screen, see, that's the track, one track, you drive around it. There's an oval that you drive around and stuff, and there's bridges and stuff, you know. You know. So I know it's hard to see. I'm doing my best. Press the button. Anyway, hard driving. It's behind the wheel, as you can see. Can you see it? So hard driving, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. You know, it's nothing special, believe me. It's just not. You know, now in my opinion, this is the best game on the Atari Lynx, and a must-have if you're gonna get it. Pac-Land, right? This is 10 out of 10 straight away. Pac-Land was an awesome game back in the arcades in Bosnia. I remember playing it. It's a side-scrolling platforming game. Like Super Mario, except it's Pac-Man. And it's awesome. The thing is, you have a fairy underneath your hat, and you have to get her home. And if you do that, the fairy's mother will give you these magic boots that make you jump over everything and get back home to Miss Pac-Man and Junior Pac-Man. Brilliant game, arcade perfect, sounds just like the arcade, plays just like it, and highly recommend it if you're gonna an Atari Lynx, you know. And this game came with a poster and everything else, so it was cool, like, it was deadly, like. I was surprised that the Atari Lynx version was so arcade perfect, you know. And I know it's hard to see. Maybe it will lower the brightness. I like it, you know. I love the music, and that's Pac-Man's house. And now, they're all split up into trips. You know, trip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, and see, so you got the idea. It's awesome, you know. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It's brilliant, it really is. And I'm gonna get killed by the dog. Just like the arcade, you know. That brings back memories, you know. So Pac-Land, it's the best game on the system, hands down, in my opinion. Now there are a lot of other great games on the Atari Lynx. Unique games that you can't get on the Game Boy. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hidden gems in it. Blue Lightning, right? This is an airplane game. Something similar to Afterburner, but it's a bit slower paced. It's not as fast movement as Afterburner, but it's still pretty good, you know. And would recommend getting Blue Lightning as well if you like airplane games. Blue Lightning is right up your street, you know. Yeah, Blue Lightning. Now I think this was on the Atari Jaguar CD, made by Epix, you know, and it's pretty cool, like, you know. See all the lightning and all, the Game Boy couldn't do that, like, you know. So see, so that's what it looks like, you know. Start off on the ground, you fly around, you blow up all it takes off with itself, which is pretty handy. And you just hold down the fire buttons and shoot everything in sight. So it's pretty awesome. It's a great game, like, you know. It's just a lot slower paced than Afterburner, you know. Afterburner's a lot faster paced, and it's awesome, you know. So that's it for all the games I have. At some stage I will get more games for the Atari Lynx, but they're very expensive and hard to find, you know, and I'm not a millionaire, so the Atari Lynx is a huge failure. It didn't last long. very big, very bulky, but it has great. It has a lot of good games on it and unique games. Now, I would have liked to see all the old classics. Now, maybe they are on the Atari Lynx, like Centipede, Missile Command, Asteroids, Defender, but I don't think they are because I haven't come across them. Because I keep tabs on the games and I haven't seen them. I'd like to see. I would like to see fucking remastered versions of them classic games on this because I think that's what would make it sell more. If I had like a remastered version of Centipede or Asteroids or Defender or Berserk, Yars Revenge, why not? But it has like Pac-Land, Blue Lightning, going for it, Battle Wheels, which is awesome. And there are other games, I just don't know what they are, like, if you can find it for cheap, then yeah, why not? It has awesome graphics, has awesome sound, it's cool and retro, and it's Atari, so yeah, we'll have the Model 1 and Model 2, that's how much of it, because I have to have them all, you know what I mean, so, yeah, so the Atari Lynx is a failure, like, no one cared about it, but we liked it, and it does have a fan base. It's not a failure by any means like the Atari 5200, or the Coleco Chameleon. It's everyone's gonna have their own opinion on what's good and what's bad, and that's fine. I like the Atari Lynx. I've had it all these years, and yeah, I wouldn't talk it by any means. Which is a better system, the Game Boy or the Game Boy Advance, which is 16-bit. But it just came out in 1989 and just couldn't compete because the Sega Game Gear had Sonic the Hedgehog and other great games, and so yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to leave any suggestions or comments, if you hate this video or whatever, go ahead, or if you want to subscribe or anything. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all later, so take care and bye bye.